Silly me making faces. It's Stefania over at Sleep Stories and Classic Fairy Tales for Kids. And we've got the next part of Uncle Wiggily's adventures. If you remember the last time, there was a bear after Jenny Chipmunk, and Uncle Wiggily dug a hole and just kept throwing the dirt out. And the dirt got in the bear's eyes and in his nose, and it made him sneeze. And then he went away to wash his face, wash all that dirt and gravel off his face. And of course, Uncle Wiggily and Jenny Chipmunk legged it. They ran. They got out of danger. And now we move on to the next part. Uncle Wiggily and the Lantern. After Uncle Wiggily had taken Jenny Chipmunk home so the bear couldn't get her, as I told you about in the story before this one and a few minutes ago, the old gentleman rabbit walked on over the fields and through the woods, seeking his fortune. He looked everywhere for it, down in the hollow stumps, behind big stones, and even in an old well. But you may be sure he didn't jump down any more wells. Nope, I guess not. He learned his lesson. Oh, here is a little brook, exclaimed Uncle Wiggily, after a while, as he came to a small stream of water flowing over green mossy stones, with a nice gurgling sound, like an ice cream soda. Perhaps I might find my fortune here. But he looked, and he looked in the water without seeing anything but a goldfish. I might sell the goldfish for money, thought the fortune-hunting rabbit, but it wouldn't be kind to take him out of the brook, so I won't. I'll look a little further on the other side. Then, taking up his crutch and his case, Uncle Wiggily gave a big jump and leapt safely across the water. Then, once more he traveled on. Pretty soon, he came to a place where there was a tree. And on one branch of the tree there hung a funny round ball that looked as if it was made of gray-colored paper, and there was a funny buzzing sound coming from it. "Ha! Do you see that?" asked a big fat hop-toad as he suddenly bobbed up out of the grass. It was the same toad who had made the rabbit jump down in the leaf-covered well. "Do you see that?" asked the toad. "Well, if you want to find your fortune, take a stick and hit that ball." "Indeed I will not," cried the old gentleman rabbit. "I know you and your tricks. That is a hornet's nest, and if I struck it, they would fly out and sting me." "Oh, no, you won't catch me again. Now, you go away, or I'll tell a police dog to arrest you." So, the toad knew it was no use to try to fool Uncle Wiggily again, and he hopped away, scratching his warty back on a sharp stone. Well, the old gentleman rabbit traveled on, and when it came to night, he wondered where he was going to stay, for he hadn't yet found his fortune, and the weather looked as if it was going to rain. Then, all of a sudden, he heard voices calling out like this. "Come on, Nanny. You've got to blind your eyes now, and I'll go hide." "All right, Billy," was the answer. "After that, we'll get Uncle Butter to tell us a story." "I guess I know who those children are," thought Uncle Wiggily, though he had not yet seen them. "That's Billy and Nanny Goat talking." And surely enough it was. And most unexpectedly, the rabbit had come right up to the house where they lived, on the edge of the woods. Well, you can just imagine how glad Billy and Nanny were to see Uncle Wiggily. They danced all around him and held him by the paws and kissed him between his long ears, and Billy carried his case for him. "Oh, we're so glad you are here," they cried. "Mama, Papa, Uncle Butter, here is Uncle Wiggily." Well, the whole goat family was glad to see the rabbit traveler, and after supper he told them of his adventures and how he was out seeking his fortune. And Billy and Nanny told what they had been doing, and Nanny showed how she could cut things up out of paper, like the children do in the kindergarten class in school. She could make little houses with smoke coming out of the chimney, and paper lanterns and boxes and, oh, ever so many things. The lanterns she made were especially fine, just like Chinese ones. Then it came time to go to bed, and in the night a very strange thing happened, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Along about 12 o'clock, when all was still and quiet, and when the little mice were beginning to think it was time for them to creep out of their holes and hunt for bread and cheese, about this time there sounded a strange noise down at the front door of the goat house. "Oh, what is that?" asked Mrs. Goat. I guess it was the cats," said Mr. Goat, getting ready to go to sleep again. "No, I'm sure it was a burglar fox," said the lady goat. "Please get up and look." Well, of course Mr. Goat had to do so after his wife asked him like that. So he poked his head out of the upstairs window over the front door, and he called out, "Who is down there?" "I'm a burglar fox," was the answer. "I'm coming to rob you." "Oh, my!" cried Mrs. Goat when she heard that. "Get a gun and shoot him, Mr. Goat." And at that, Billy and Nanny began to cry, for they were afraid of burglars, and Uncle Butter got up and began looking for a whistle with which to call a police dog, but he couldn't find it. Then the burglar fox started in breaking down the door so he could get in. Still, Mr. Goat couldn't find his gun. "Oh, we'll all be killed," cried Mrs. Goat. "Oh, if someone would only help us." "Ah, I will help you," cried Uncle Wiggily, jumping out of bed. "I'll scare that fox so that he'll run away." "But I can't find my gun," said Mr. Goat. "No matter," answered the brave rabbit. "I can scare him with a paper lantern such as Nanny can make. Quick, Nanny, make me a big paper lantern." Well, the little girl goat stopped crying then, and she got her paper and her scissors and the paste pot, and she began to make a paper lantern as big as a water pail. Uncle Wiggily and Billy helped her, and all the while the burglar fox was banging on the door and crying out, "Let me in! Let me in!" "Quick! Is the lantern ready?" asked Uncle Wiggily, jumping around in a circle. "Here it is," said Nanny. So the rabbit gentleman took it, all nicely made as it was, and inside he put a hot, blazing candle. And the lantern was so big that the candle didn't burn the sides of the paper. Then Uncle Wiggily tied the lantern to a screen, and he lowered it right down out of the window, right in front of the burglar fox. And the hot candle in the lantern burned the fox's nose, and he thought he was a policeman climbing out of a tree to catch him. And before you could count 411, the bad burglar fox ran away. And so he didn't rob the ghost after all. And oh, how thankful Nanny and Billy and their papa and mama were to Uncle Wiggily. Now, next time, not right now, next time, I will tell you about Uncle Wiggily and the paper house. So, if you want to know, if you want to be one of the first to hear that story, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button That way, YouTube will tell you, special person, that the next episode is ready for you. Because we'll have that and a lot more things too. A lot more stories. We'll have some songs, tongue twisters, and what else? All kinds of good stuff. We'll see you next time. Stay well, take care, and be good. Bye for now.